And now, Signature Dish, a WETA original series.
Today on Signature Dish, we're kicking things off out on the water.
We're wading out to try next-level Chesapeake oysters.
Wow, down the hatch.
Can't get fresher than that.
We'll sample a new spin on a Maryland favorite.
I'll show you the secret to our crab cakes. We got a crab sauce.
You had me at crab sauce.
And enjoy a fiesta of flavors from the shores of Spain.
This is something that I love to do. Use the mussel as a spoon.
Oh, this is a little Paella life hack right here. I'm Seth Tillman, WETA producer and DC native, and I love good food. That's why I'm traveling to restaurants across the DMV. At each stop, looking for the one thing you just gotta try. That signature dish.
We're setting sail on this coastal expedition in DC's Navy Yard. Right off the shores of the Anacostia River, and almost at the doorstep of Nationals Park, is the Salt Line. The restaurant, which also has locations in Bethesda and Arlington, offers up New England classics with a mid-Atlantic twist.
I've always loved seafood, and for a long time I was the guy who was butchering whole pigs, butchering whole cows, but I wanted to get into like what it would look like to butcher big fish, but also really love this freshness and bringing a sustainability angle to the seafood space.
Kyle and I had this vision for creating a menu that had classics. They were, lobster rolls, fried clams, clam chowder. These weren't chef's interpretations of them. They were just well-sourced, great recipes. And, we wanted to pair that with something that was like a little bit more modern.
At the Salt Line, the oyster is king.
Right when you walk into the door, you feel the energy of two shuckers right there with the bartenders. You're looking at what's available in the raw bar case that day.
To take their oyster game to the next level, Kyle and Jeremy teamed up with Alex Johnston, the owner of the Harris Creek Oyster Company on the Eastern Shore, to develop the Dancing Molly, a new Chesapeake oyster variety all their own.
I love my partnerships, my friendships with these local oystermen, my local farmers, my local fishermen as well. And Alex is like, okay, what if we kind of engineered the perfect oyster, right? Probably over a year and a half, maybe more. And it's like, hey, what do you think of this one? What do you think of that?
We started to notice an exciting change in the oyster, the deeper shell, a little bit of a different flavor profile. Next thing you know, we're partners.
A regular Chesapeake oyster, they tend to be flabby. A Dancing Molly, we did develop something with more brine, something a little meatier. It's the perfect Chesapeake oyster.
The Dancing Molly is exclusive to the Salt Line's 3 locations and their 2 sister restaurants, the Season 1 favorite Dauphines and the Tex-Mex spot Omateo. But since I don't have the first clue how one develops a new oyster, I'm off to the Navy Yard to learn more.
Gone fishing? Hey Kyle, it's Seth. I'm here at the restaurant. Where are you guys?
Seth, change of plans. We're at the Eastern Shore. Why don't you come join us? We're gonna harvest some fresh oysters.
All right, fresh oysters. I'm game. Great. See you there. Gentlemen, good to meet you.
Great to meet you.
Chef,
How are you?
Jeremy,
Nice to meet you,
good
Seth.
to meet you. So tell me, what are we doing here on the Chesapeake today?
Well, we're excited to have you. We wanted to show you our Dancing Molly oyster, an oyster that's grown out here on the bay that we partner with Alex on.
Yeah. It's the perfect balance between sweet, salty, buttery.
Well, that sounds good, and I love oysters. But I got to ask, why are we meeting in what looks like some state-of-the-art factory here?
This is the oyster hatchery. This is where we get our seed as farmers that we plant. 2 years later, they become the Dancing Mollies you see in the restaurant.
All begins right here.
All begins right here. So let's go check it out.
Well, it looks like you're in good hands. We're gonna head out to the beach and set up for a party.
Sounds good. Catch you guys back in a little bit.
All right, Seth. So we're here at Ferry Cove, which is one of the most automated and high-tech hatcheries in the country.
And so what are we looking at in these little containers right here?
So this is literally 6 million oysters, oyster larvae in this container right here.
6 million.
Yep. That's how they start. That larva is then taken and put into these tanks where there's a culch at the bottom. That larva settles, finds something hard to attach to, starts to grow its shell just after a few weeks. It gets to a size big enough like this, and these are now seed oysters that we can plant in the water. So the Dancing Molly, what makes it special first is where it starts. So these seed go into our lease on Harris Creek, a very calm, easygoing body of water. The oysters are very happy in the beginning, but that oyster, we don't want it to grow too fast. So we then take it, pluck it out of Harris Creek after about a year, and take it out to the rough waters of Eastern Bay. And that's where Mother Nature really creates that beautiful final product that we call Dancing Mollies.
So there's a lot happening in the water with these oysters. They're not just sitting there on the seabed.
Absolutely not. There's a lot of husbandry that goes on from seed all the way to shuck. So Seth, let's go get our waders on, head out to the bay, and see what we can find.
That sounds like a lot of fun. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Alex,
Yes, sir.
I'm all weighted up, ready to go.
Looking good.
What are we looking for out here today?
All right, we're on one of our oyster leases here. We're in Eastern Bay, Chesapeake Bay. Dancing Mollies, this is where they come from.
And I see we got another passenger with us.
Yes, this is Lucy. This is her beach, so we're just happy to be here.
Hey, girl.
And let's hop on board. We'll pull anchor and head on out. This is part of our farm for almost 13 generations, and that's the heart and soul of why we started farming oysters. Working on the water.
If this is your office, you're doing something right.
Yeah, exactly. So this is a floating oyster lease that brings our oysters up on the surface. And you can already see those cages are rocking and rolling. And that's the name of the game. These oysters get tumbled around inside, and that's what really makes them cup up nice, gets a nice shell on them, and a fat meat on the inside.
And on top of getting that flavor, they're also doing their part to help the bay, right?
Correct. They are filtering water, so it's just a positive byproduct of our product. While we sleep, they're cleaning the bay.
Thank you, Oysters, for your service.
Let's hop on in.
Whew. All right. So these are the cages.
Yes, sir. Right now it's in the down position where it's floating just below the surface. As you can see, it's wire mesh with bags of oysters inside. So I like to clean them in the water. All right, so we open them up.
Wow.
We've got some oysters.
We do, and they are absolute beauties.
So this is perfection right here. If I could grow 1 million of these, I'd be happy. I can tell right away, just from size, feel in my hand, the cup, density of the shell, that these are gonna be beautiful without even having to shuck them open. And you can see there's definitely a variety of sizes. And so this little one, these are the same exact age. What happens sometimes is maybe the oysters will cram into a corner, and this one's eating all the nutrients, and this one's getting stunted. But the ones that take a little longer actually become a little better. But we won't see this one till next year.
So even in the world of oysters, there's some late bloomers.
Correct. One of the perks of the job, though, and it's actually a job requirement, is to shuck oysters, because I need to know where the flavor is at, and it changes every single day. So I'd love to shuck one for you right now if you're ready.
I would love to eat one.
All right, I'm gonna stab it from the bill, cutting the adductor muscle. And there's the reveal. And get the bottom muscle for you. And I'll do one more for myself if you don't mind.
Perfect morning out on the water.
Can't get fresher than that.
Down the hatch.
Damn. That is so good.
Wow.
Salinity's coming up this fall. I mean, they're perfect right now.
That's an incredible oyster. And I guess when you're done, just chuck them?
Right back in the bay. Give them back to where they came from.
There you go.
We got our harvest. We got our harvest tag telling exactly where the oysters came from. Let's go party.
Let's do it.
Okay, all right.
You guys enjoy these?
Beautiful, chef. Thank you.
All right, just had an awesome time out on the water. Got to try my first Dancing Molly, but what toppings should we enjoy with these?
We got a squeeze of lemon, house-made cocktail sauce, classic mignonette, and this is a variation on the mignonette, like a seasonal thing that we do. This one is local farm apples, minced shallot in a base of rice wine vinegar and mirin.
All right, and is all that acidity gonna be a nice counterpoint to the oyster there?
Absolutely.
What are your favorite toppings, gentlemen?
I'm just gonna go squeeze a lemon.
Alex, you seem like no
Straight
accompaniments needed kind of guy.
They are great no matter what you put on them. That's what I'm proud of.
All right, well, cheers. Cheers.
Delicious.
Damn.
The crunch of the apple and the chives, perfect accompaniment.
Thank you.
Well, Seth, it's not the salt line experience without some beers to go along. Our tagline is oysters and ale. So here you go.
I think cans are okay because we're on the road today.
Yeah,
So,
definitely.
okay. Oysters and ale, can't beat that.
There's a few more to enjoy.
All right.
Heck yeah.
And Kyle, you've been around the seafood game for a while. These oysters are a lot different than the type of oysters that were coming out of the Chesapeake even, what, 10, 15 years ago?
Even 5 years ago, for sure. These are gonna have a higher salinity, right? So a little more brine to it. Still sweet, the deep cup.
Yep, so up on the surface, they're gonna be extremely clean because they're not getting any grit from the bottom, which makes them just silky smooth. I love them. I just can't stop eating them on my own. I take them home as much as I can, so.
Hey, by the way, do we get Lucy an oyster there?
We sure can. Lucy Goose, a little oyster. Good girl. And she'll go for the show.
Not a party until the dog gets an oyster. I'm definitely going to be returning to the salt line so I can get some more dancing Molly. I see one more little bit of color on the table, though.
Yeah, so this is just another way that we enjoy oysters at the
Thank
salt
you.
line. And these are oyster shooters. So it is beer, yuzu sake. The oyster's been dressed, so it's oyster and chase it back.
Oyster in a shot. Well, this is a perfect way to end what's been a fascinating and fun day out on the water. Thanks to all of you.
Yeah, thank you so
Appreciate it.
much.
Hey, cheers.
Beautiful.
All right, oysters for everybody.
Right, I'll get the shucking.
After all that water, my next stop is the decidedly landlocked downtown Silver Spring to visit All Set, led by husband and wife team Jen Meltzer and Ed Revis.
I was born and raised in Silver Spring, Maryland, and have worked in restaurants all through college and grad school. And then when I met Ed in 2009, we decided that we were going to open a restaurant one day.
I'm originally from Emporia, Virginia, which is very south. I'm almost 10 minutes from North Carolina. I left to go to college, and then I left college to go to culinary school. I was cooking through college and just had a passion and was good at restaurants.
It happened that while we were looking for a restaurant space, we were both working in Massachusetts. Ed was on Nantucket, I was in Cape Cod.
And I learned all about oysters, lobsters, and seafood. I just saw how people like the simplicity in the food.
When we decided to open up this American restaurant inspired by coastal New England, I was like, we have to have a rockin' crab cake because I am from Maryland. And if you're gonna put a crab cake on your menu, you better be real about it.
And to infuse that with the New England influence, I think it's been a great combination.
Chef,
What's up, man?
good to see you.
Good to see you.
I am doing great, and I love crab. So anytime I see that on the board, I am excited. What are you making today?
We're making jumbo lump crab cakes.
And as much as I love crab cakes, I'm not a traditionalist.
Okay.
All I care about is that it's not dry,
Okay.
and it's full of flavor.
Well, we got no problem there.
So what's your approach for putting a crab cake together?
Well, we got equal amounts of lump crab meat, and then here's the beauty of this, that jumbo lump.
Jumble up. And
Yes, sir.
as a chef, you got to taste as you go,
Gotta
right?
do it, gotta do it. I'll get a piece myself.
Let's just get started here early.
Oh, yeah.
Pass us the test.
This has already been cleaned. I'm gonna add my panko. I like to put it with the crab because the moisture of the crab will soften the bread. And I give that a nice, gentle fold.
Right, but you got to be really careful with
Oh,
that
yeah,
jumbo
yeah.
lump.
I want those, yeah. Because people were like, okay, where the jumbo lumps at? They'll ask you. When the chef will always say soft hands, okay? And then now we'll make our dressing. Start with mayo. We add 1 egg. We add our Old Bay. And then we add our little bit of chives, about a tablespoon. And then want to get out a whisk. I'm gonna let that go until it's nice and well incorporated. Another big secret ingredient that I think sets us apart, we like to zest 1 whole lemon.
Because some people put lemon juice in their crab cakes, right?
Yeah, I prefer lemon zest because the lemon juice comes acidic and it breaks down the crab. Just makes the dish brighter to me.
And it makes it smell so
Yeah, you can smell me right. You can smell that across the room. Okay, and now we'll give this another gentle toss. Those breadcrumbs are nice and soft, and now we'll add our dressing.
And as someone who grew up in rural Virginia, this is not a family crab cake recipe.
No,
This is
no,
just something
no.
you've come to through your chef's
All
travels.
my travels, yes, sir. I've seen so many different kinds, and I added some of my own flavors to it. And the good thing about this, the color of the dressing lets me know if it's all the way throughout the crab.
I just love crab cakes
Yeah.
so much.
I mean, you can look
just
in
watching the process makes me so happy.
Yeah, I mean, the big thing for me is crab. I mean, the other stuff is just barely there. So we have a nice large ring mold. I don't force it 100% in there.
You want a little air in this thing.
Exactly. Put a little bit more in there. We're not stingy with the crab.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
So I feel like that's pretty set. And then trick is laying it to the hand. Now I finish it by hand.
So a little science and a little art to the
That's
process.
right, exactly. So we'll lay these down, we'll form the rest of these out, and then we let them set in the walk-in for 1 to 2 hours until they get cold and everything stays together.
Nice, nice.
Okay, and now I'll show you the other secret to our crab cakes. We got a crab sauce.
Crab sauce.
Yes, sir.
You had me at crab sauce.
Yeah, so we're making a beurre blanc. We start with a 1.5 cups of white wine. We add some rough chopped shallots. And we add some thyme. And we let that reduce by half. All right, this looks good. We're about halfway reduced.
It smells amazing.
Yeah, then we'll just start whisking in some butter.
Why the hot sauce but the cold butter?
When butter's cold, it starts to emulsify and thicken the sauce. I mean, you can see that thickening a lot.
Oh,
and we
yeah.
still got so much more butter to go. Can't have enough butter, right? Yeah.
So this is a little classic French influence.
Oh, yeah.
On a Maryland classic.
Yes, I'm using my classic training. Yes. So I'm gonna add this back to the heat just so we can get a little bit more of a reduction. All right, Seth, so now we'll add the rest of this butter.
It looks silky smooth in
there. Exactly. To make the crab cake, we will sear it on the flat top, get it golden brown on one side, we flip, and then we finish it in the oven. And then we'll make a saute of fingerling potatoes and bell peppers, which sits on a bed of corn puree. We'll take this beurre blanc after we strain it. We'll add a little bit of Dijon mustard, jumbo lump crab, and some Old Bay. And our all-set crab cake will be ready to join.
I see there wasn't enough crab in the crab cake itself, so you had to add a little more on top.
Had to do it. All right, Jenny, I'm gonna make you a portion.
Thank you so much.
Okay, here we go. My hat is off to you on that one, Chef.
Awesome.
It has everything I'm looking for in a crab cake and more.
Nice.
So much flavor, not dried out in the least, but that nice little crispiness on the edges. That's my favorite part of the crab cake, those little crispy bits.
Get that good sear.
I told Ed if we're going to, or I requested from Ed if we were going to put a crab cake on the menu, it had to be legit. It's such a luxurious dish. The crab's already so sweet. And then with the corn puree and the beurre blanc, it's just, it's Maryland.
It's heavenly.
Explosion of crab flavor.
And then a
Snack.
crab coma.
I wanted to make it impossible for someone to say there's not enough crab.
And besides this crab cake, I see some shrimp cocktail. Oh, and some monster biscuits over there. What are we looking at?
Yes. When we first were looking at this location, there was a Red Lobster around the corner. And since they're famous for their biscuits, that inspired me to create our own version of a buttery biscuit. So we added a little bit of sriracha and there's some white cheddar in there.
Yeah, everything being taken to the next level. And you guys have been open now for almost a decade. You're kind of becoming a Silver Spring institution, but good food, that's only gonna take you so far, right?
Absolutely agree. People will come back for mediocre food and great service. So when we try to hit both out the park, and I let Jen, who's the expert on hospitality, to lead the way.
My favorite part about having a restaurant is actually waiting tables. I love to be the person that puts these dishes down in front of people's faces. And our team is always a reflection of Silver Spring. Silver Spring is one of the most diverse places in the entire country. So on any given day, I can meet any kind of person from every walk of life.
And speaking of a team, the two of you clearly just bring so many strengths and complement each other so nicely. This has been terrific. Thank you guys so much.
Awesome. Thank you.
It's only fitting to wrap up all things coastal back in DC's most iconic stretch of waterfront, the Wharf. I'm checking out Del Mar, which celebrates the bounty of the Spanish coast. The restaurant was opened by Fabio Trabocchi, a prolific DC restaurateur who has opened several notable Italian restaurants around Washington. The Del Mar kitchen is now helmed day-to-day by Barcelona native Josep Coronado.
It's Spanish cuisine is really unique. Spanish cuisine is all about product, the freshness of the product, specifically seafood. When you go to the markets, you don't understand how it's possible, but always everything is so fresh. At Del Mar, always the high quality of the product is our #1 priority. For me to run the Mar kitchen is a privilege. It's actually a dream become true. Everybody really loves to share the culture of Spain to the customers. So when the guests come to Del Mar, the first thing that we want is that they feel that they are in the Mediterranean. When you see the fish car, we use also a lot of local fish, but we try to import as much fish we can from the Mediterranean. People come here to celebrate. I like to say people come here always to enjoy and to have something special. You are in Spain.
Since Del Mar is a pretty fancy place, I want to arrive in style.
Chef,
Hey, Seth.
good to meet you.
Good to meet you. Welcome to the Wharf. Welcome to Del Mar.
Well, this feels pretty appropriate. Seafood restaurant right here on the water.
Yeah, looks like Barcelona, right? Like the Mediterranean.
So what kind of Spanish food do you have cooking today?
We are going to cook a Mediterranean beautiful seafood paella. Really Spanish.
You are speaking my language, sir. Should we head on in?
Yeah, let's go.
Let's do it. Oh, chef, I can tell that I am in for a treat. Look at that gorgeous seafood. Tell me a little bit about the art of making paella.
The most important, you need a paella pan. This is a paella pan that is flat, it needs to be big. So almost everything in Spanish food starts with olive oil, and then this is the sofrito, is the base of the paella. And then this is the soul of the paella. This is the seafood stock. We got all the scraps for the high quality fish, and then we add lobster. Lots of lobster.
This is gonna be a luxurious dish.
It is a celebration dish. So let's add this beautiful stock. Look at this. So what we are going to do now is to start to bring to boil. We are going to add a little salt. So this is the rice bomba. So now we start to cook. So then, this is what we call as a salmorreta. This is a caramelized tomato and Yora peppers with garlic that also is caramelizing for 2 days.
So this is like a high-end tomato paste right here.
Yes, exactly. So we add just 1 spoon.
All right, so I think I get it. So the whole point of this paella pan is so that the rice cooks evenly across the entire surface?
Yeah, exactly. So right now, needs you to just do it like this, turning to the left, turning to the right, looking how it cooks. Needs to cook evenly, but it's really important that interaction now with the chef.
This is the artistry side of things.
Exactly.
You can't show this in a recipe book. You just have to know this.
No, this is actually something that you have to feel it. So we are going to add a little saffron from Spain. That is this spice that is famous because everybody knows that, oh, is that the spice that is really, really expensive? It is. But that just needs a little bit. So if you really take a look, it's not that expensive. So now we're going to start to add the monkfish that we like to add in this point, and then we don't overcook. Starting right now, you cannot touch anymore that paella.
No touching.
No touching. You can turn left to the right now.
And chef, what happens if you touch the paella?
Well, the paella is going to look like a mountain. When you see that this is a professional chef was doing that. So paella needs to be
nice
flat, nice, yes, and the rice cooks better. So now we are going to do the toppings. Usually this paella, our signature paella, comes with prawns. And then in Del Mar, there is an opportunity to add langoustines, carabineros, or anything that you want.
Your appetite is only as big as your imagination and your wallet.
Yeah, yes, it is. So now we are going to add these beautiful mussels. Starting to look like a real paella now. Eh?
Oh, yeah.
Now also is the time to go to lower a little bit the fire to make the perfect caramelization of the rice in the bottom of the paella. This we call socarrat. Basically, it's a stock that reduces and it starts to caramelize. So when you get that scrap, it's a little crunchy and lots of flavor. Lots of flavor. Actually, right now, you can listen. It's started.
Ooh. I love that you can actually hear the magic happening in the pan.
So while this is cooking, my team grilled the seafood. And they grilled lobster, carabineros, prawns, and langoustines. So my chef is going to give me all the seafood. Thank you very much, Sylvia.
Oh.
Look at this.
Oh my goodness.
This is the celebration of the Mediterranean.
This is a treat, chef.
So we're starting with some beautiful lobster.
Oh goodness.
Let's add some beautiful prawns.
I don't know if it would be possible for my mouth to be watering any more than it is right now.
A couple of carabineros. And these beautiful langoustines are saying yes.
Add me to the paella, please.
Yeah.
Chef.
Don't forget, all of this juice goes in here.
Why not?
Lots
Why
of
not?
flavor.
Why not? I don't think we have enough flavor on this yet.
Okay. And then Spanish food, parsley. I'm hungry.
You and me both. Let's get to it.
Let's do it.
All right, chef. I cannot wait, but at the same time, I see a Perone on the table.
Yeah.
I actually learned in the last season how to use a Perone.
There we go. Pretty good. Wow. Remember to swallow, okay?
All right, well,
Go ahead.
If I recall, napkin goes under the chin.
Exactly, to protect you.
Here we go.
Good one.
Well, chef, we've already made a mess. Perfect way to
we
start
both
the meal.
have the same.
Yeah, I guess our skills are both a little rusty. But in the meantime, we got some paella here. So how do we even get started?
Okay, so now looking for the beautiful socarrat. Let's take a little rice.
I love how you're just scraping it off the bottom.
Of course. So let's take a couple of mussels for you and one langoustine for you.
Langoustine it is.
Okay, you got it.
Yes.
Look at this beautiful. Okay, salud.
Salute.
Oh.
I give up. I mean, that is just dynamite. It looks incredible. It smells amazing, and shockingly, it's got a taste to match. Nice little crunch on that rice. I like how garlicky it is as well. But now, of course, the most fun part, the shellfish. Should I be trying to get the juice out of the head?
Well, this is the most important. Actually, this is what we love to suck all of these heads. You have a lot of heads to suck over there.
Oh my goodness. All right.
So I'm going to be working with some mussels direct from the paella. Scratch a little rice with my mussel.
Oh, this is a little paella life hack right here.
Exactly.
Get a little more socarrat. But I'd be remiss if I didn't go for that lobster. That's sitting right there. Oh,
I'm going to
God.
get another one.
You guys are too kind here at Del Mar.
Looks juicy. No.
We doing this same time again tomorrow?
Okay, let's do it.
Let's try one more Perone.
Let's do it, let's do it.
No napkin even needed. It's
Come
the end
on,
of the segment.
really?
Here we go.
Bravo, bravo.
We nailed it.
We did better now.
Thank you, chef.
To find out more about great food in the Washington metro area, visit WETA.org/signature dish.